I'm going to chance it. Hey, good afternoon. Shaggy SoCal 12 for Forza, and happy holidays. It is, what is it, December 29th? I mean, we're right at the end of 2024. We survived, and hope you had a great Christmas holiday. You're celebrating Hanukkah, whatever, or Kwanzaa. There's so many holidays here. Maybe winter solstice. We also just had that. But anyhow, happy holidays for whichever one you celebrate, or if you celebrate them all. So heading into 2025, first season, starting right after the new year, we're going to be racing NASCAR in for Thursday Night Thunder. And so this will be the final set of track guides for 2024 as we head into the new year. First off, for the first week, I think we're gonna hit the ground running. We're probably gonna start with the hardest road course that's going to be on the schedule this year, which is Mount Panorama, and then probably again we need to work on our oval racing a little bit, but we're going to start with the Eagle Rock Short Oval is then the second race for upcoming first week of races. Losing my train of thought. Haven't done this in a couple of weeks. Um, so like any normal track guide, I'm going to go out and run a couple of laps just to kind of kick the cobwebs out of my brain. Then we'll do what I call the track walk. I'll go a little bit slower around it, just kind of pointing out, what am I looking at, what I think the car is doing, what I'm trying to do I think there's only so far. There's only one issue I have with this car that I need to be careful of, and that's for me, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Then I'm going to try and do a mock race against the drivatars to see how. Again, part of it is I do need to practice a little bit, have a little bit of traffic to try and work through, or see how my defensive driving is, depending on how the drivatars do, and then that's again standard fare for a track guide. Again, paint scheme I'm going with this year. I decided to try and channel a little bit of Jeff Gordon. So I'm going with the kind of throwback liveries to his early DuPont livery, even though I am running 21 and he ran 24. Okay, so I'm talking too much. We're not getting into driving. So let me just double check here. We're in test drive. I just want to go to fuel and tire. Yeah, I'm going to run 50% mediums for this. It's a good kind of baseline on tire fuel to get a feel for what the car is going to do. So let's go ahead and start race. Oh, wait for me, don't leave without me. Excuse me, pardon me. So for all the test drives I do, I will set up, again, noon, 4 times, 4x on the time, 20% rubber down, because that's what we start the races with. I do partly cloudy, and that's kind of my static testing sessions. Anytime I'm doing tire tests or like that, that's what I run. Okay, here we go. Right before the 50 board, since we're just starting off the line. I think the one thing that I need to be careful of with this car is is second gear slow corners, especially trying to get to the power out. The back tires can spin up really easily, especially when they're cold and there's not as much grip. Heading up here towards the cutting, and breathe a little bit. Little confidence lift there. Can turn in. Well, that was halfway decent. And down to Skyline into the S's. Dipper. Forest Elbow, which I'm not sure if it's this or if it's this next one, but this is generally Forest Elbow. And down the Conrad straight towards the chase. Oh, there, that's what that is. A little early. Brake just before the 150 board. Oh, tire's still not up to temp. Preference on my own would be to do that in third gear. Didn't quite get the car turned before I straightened the wheel out, so gotta work on that. Do one more lap here. Okay, what is this straight called? Oh, I'll show you my cheat sheet here in a second. So we're on the mountain straight, heading up to Griffin's Bend. Braking just at that blue tent there. Can do this in third. It's a little low. So on your own, you might be able to get away with third, but definitely if you're in traffic, second gear is probably preferable there. A little bit early. And lift off the tree. Try to apex that as late as possible. Early of a turn in. It's such a hard turn to get the timing right on. Push, push, push. Does not like to slow down or brake downhill. So again, it's either I'm not braking hard enough or I'm braking a little too late, or both. Okay. Right this time, still a little bit later on that turn in than I want to be. Third gear is a lot better there. And one final time here at Murray's Corner. Okay, so let's talk about Bathurst here. So heading down here to Hellbend, turn one. If you wind it out in third, you're probably going to be hitting the rev limiter right before you brake. So I think for me, just from a cadence, a rhythm, I'll probably put it in fourth, even if it's only briefly. And I'm using the one board as my reference point. So hopefully nobody ahead of me is routinely taking that out when they're braking for turn one. Otherwise, it's probably, if I'm going to do other reference points, if the one board has been taken down, it's just before where the banner changes to the pro rata. So whichever you use for your braking point. Brake down to second gear. Again, hell corner, just a straight up 90-degree corner. This is one of the issues, at least and again, whether you're racing the Ford, Chevy, or Toyota, they're NASCAR, they're built identically. I'm hoping Forza's built them identically. They have the exact same setup on it as far as the tune that you download for it for Thursday series, so they should all perform the same. But the exit out of here, one of the issues I've running into with the car, and it's more of a me issue, is slow second gear corners, getting the power back down on the exit. If you have any, it's really easy to light the tires up. It happens pretty quickly. I think on the shakedown, I had a couple of courses, I think Indy GP, and there was a couple other ones where I got to the power a little too early before, I got the wheel unwound or straightened the car out a bit, and just got into those classic little, you hit the throttle and just lazy spin to the inside. So just be careful exiting this corner about how aggressive you are on the throttle. Ideally, you can start to roll back in, but you really don't want to commit full throttle until you're sure the car is, 80, 90% straight, if not fully straight. Otherwise you will get a little wheel spin. And if need be, unlike the Jaguar that we ran last season, where I kept saying it was light on its tires, and because of that curbing, it would upset it. Where now I haven't checked the weights, but I'd easily say this car is probably at least twice the weight of the Jag, the D-Type. So this car not as bothered as much by curbing. So you can run on it a bit if you need to and not have to worry about upsetting the car. So if you need to get out the curbing here a little bit to get straightened out, great. You've got this little extra bit of runoff that you can use to bring the car back on second gear, third gear, all the way up to fourth. Heading up to turn two, Griffin's Bend. Excuse me. You might be able to get the car up to fifth. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, it's one of those, I'm not paying attention to what gear I'm in. But what I'm using, since I don't have the braking line on, I'm using the blue tents as the reference point. It looks like it's also about where the 100 board is, though, at least for me, that 100 board, if you're using that, might be a little too late, or you're really going to need to make sure you get on the binders and get on the brakes solidly. So for me, it's as the blue tents go by, brake, brake, brake. You can see the lock I had there previously. This one, I've been experimenting with whether it's a little more than a 90-degree bend. It's uphill. It's a little off camber on the exit. I've been playing around with. My first thought is, can I do it in third? And it just feels a little low in the rev range to do it in third. So I think ideally, lap over lap, it's going to be a second gear corner. It is a little bit quicker than, say, turn one hill corner. Um, but you do need to watch again, because you can kind of tell we have a little bit. Again, it's a public road, so there's a little bit of crown to it, so we have a little bit of help on the inside. But as you exit, you're going to be exiting across the crown. It's going to flatten out, and you're in high in second gear. So you just want to watch, be careful of your throttle, pay attention if the wheel spin at the back. It'll kick the car a little bit. Again, I haven't done a lazy spin because it's not that kind of a slow corner, but it is one that you'll feel the car. If the back end steps out, you're dangerously close to the left side wall. You might hit it. So just watch the wheel spin. Again, if I do it right, I'll drive in. It'll be a late apex. Bring the car back out. Second gear, probably getting to third at this point, heading up the hill towards the cutting. Now for me, I'll bring the car back to the right, and what I'm looking for is the change in color of the wall on the inside from the beige to the gray. So that where it turns gray is about where I'm turning in at, or what I'm going to use as my reference to turn in. It also kind of corresponds to, there's a prominent tree on the outside of the cutting that you just start seeing to come into view about the same time. For me, it's easier to spot the wall from distance coming up the hill. And for my own confidence, except for maybe soft tires, yawning a lot because I haven't talked this much today. I need to get my breathing set. It is, I think for the medium and the hard tires, I'm probably going to do a confidence lift to help. Again, if I'm on throttle, I'm turning the car in, at least for how I tend to drive and how much steering I put in and how much, trying to, get the most out of it and try not to overwear or really push the front tires. I find it's easier to just do a little confidence lift, to turn in, to get the car to turn in, and then roll back into the throttle. I think on the soft tires, you can probably do it flat easily. You can probably do it flat with the other ones as well. It's just, if you're on the wheel, you're going to be cranking a lot more steering in to get it to stick. But it's a quick confidence lift, aim towards the tree, hit the apex, and then brake right as you kind of get to these trees. At least that's where I'm braking. It's probably a little early. But this is one of these corners where, because it's such a fast left-handed kink, if you're not paying attention, you don't have the right angle, it's really easy once you get on the binders to then the car's not going to want to continue to turn once you start braking. It's going to want to go straight. So get the car straight, then really get on the braking. Otherwise, you're just going to smack the outside wall. So I think for me, confidence-wise, I'm probably going to be more middle of the track early on in the race. And then as I kind of get a little more comfortable with letting the car come all the way out to the right side, we'll see how it goes. But it's very easy to slap the wall here. Down to second gear corner. Again, turn in. I'm going to try and get as close to the wall as I can, but I'm really not going to commit. And it is a bit bumpy, so you'll notice as you're rolling back into the throttle, you're going to hear the revs going. You can even see how bumpy it is on the inside. But I'm really not going to commit to the throttle until I'm almost completely out of the corner and pointed straight up the hill. Again, I'm just trying to manage second gear corner. It's slow enough. I'm just trying to manage the wheel spin. I don't want the back end to step out here especially if I got people behind me because it's very easy. It's very easy to. It's gonna happen. We're gonna run into each other up here because it is tight and it's very easy to make mistakes and start pinballing off the walls. Second gear, into the throttle, up through here. On this right hand kink, you're going to be high second gear. You'll probably be shifting to third. Don't be surprised if the back tires spin up a little bit when you make that upshift or when you turn in. Again, this is enough of a turn in where you might feel the back end want to step out a little bit. Uh, won't be snappy. You should be able to feel it. It's easy enough to catch. Worst case scenario, if you're not sure, just as you make your upshift, just breathe the throttle. Almost like if you're doing a manual shift. Just as you click the upshift, just out of throttle and right back in. That's usually enough to cut power to the rears so that they don't step out. If you're worried about that, but play around with it, see what works best for you. So this is about third gear here. I'm using the tree here as my turn-in point. I'm really not braking. It's more as I get to the tree, I'm going to let off the throttle and start to turn in. Where I'm aiming for is the very last part of the curbing, the late apex, right as you get to the sign, the owner's sign. So if I do it right, I'll probably clip the curbing right about here. So right as you get to the sign, right as the banner changes, because that gives me the best. Get down in first, because then the line out. Then I'm not worried about. Again, it's all about threading the needle and trying to stay off the walls, but getting as close to them as possible. As I bring the car back out, I'm not. I'm a little more. I'm taking almost a straighter line through these couple of corners versus bringing it all the way out, then swooping it all the way back over. We'll see how we do in the race. I'm sure I'm going to be all over the place, but that's what I'm trying to do. Then we're getting to Frog Hollow, and again, I always talk about it. I don't know, despite the fact that I do have a cheat sheet for this. Um, if there are named corners at a track, I tend to learn the names of the corners first, where I spend the most time in the wall. If I've crashed there, if I know the name of the corner, just guaranteed I've crashed there more than once. So we're hitting to Frog Hollow. This is one. If you're not in fourth gear, you're going to be shifting to fourth gear. The hard part with this one is it comes up very quick, and it's a very quick left-hander cresting over the hill. So I want to be out here. I think you want to be out ideally fourth gear out at the wall. I think the breaking point is kind of right where it starts to go back uphill. It's also kind of right about where the banner colors change. So am I braking? Yes, I am. It is just a quick. It's almost a cadence, but I am trying to do a little bit of a jab brake just to get some weight on the front to get it to turn in, partly to help with timing as well. This one, it is really easy to turn in early on, and the danger is it's really the exit. It's easy to turn in too early, and then the outside wall just comes up and you just pancake it. I think my habit in Forza 7 was, and even in Forza 6, is the AI on exit. Well, let's get to the exit. We'll talk about that here in a second. So quick brake and turn in. It is a later turn than you think. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the car parallel with the curbing after the apex. So ideally, I'd want to have the car here. Early on, that won't happen. I'll probably be clipping it early and then having to really breathe the throttle on the exit. Because again, you don't get any help from the corner on exit because you can tell we're cresting a hill. Again, crossing over, if there's any crown here, you're going to be crossing over it. The outside wall comes up really quick. But if you can late apex this one, it will make cresting this hill easier because you'll be at a better angle out where you're not going straight to the wall or sliding straight to the wall. It was a habit that I got into with Forza 7 with the Drivatars, because on the exit of what is this? When it's Frog Hollow where I was just at, this is turn 9. To the exit of 9, the AI they'd be on the outside and they would always, for whatever reason, oh, I got to brake, and they would check brake. So I got in the habit of taking a later apex through here anyway, just to leave room to my right in case I was too close and they checked up, and it was easier to already kind of be in the middle of the tractor than slingshot past them. They're a little bit better in this Forza Motorsport. They don't check up. I will say that they don't check up. Maybe still a little slow. We'll find out. But exit here, again, bring it out. It's very easy to pancake the car. It'll probably happen to all of us at some point. Then we're heading to, passing through Solomon Park, heading to turn 10. So for me, it's this kind of Armco that's easy enough to spot. You know, you've also got kind of the corner worker spotter stand there that I'm looking at. So as I pass that, I'm going to come out of the throttle, not really going to brake. So for turn 10, you can kind of tell we're going down into the corner. And, you know, I think just Forza in general, my experience has been there's always a bit on turn in. There's always a bit of the car, kind of the front end kind of floats a little bit. And especially here, you know, the track doesn't help with that. But there's always a moment of float slash understeer before the tires, before the car sets, and then the car will grip up. So you'll really notice it here. You'll ease off the throttle, turn the car in. Again, you're going to come downhill. The front's really not going to take a set until you're about here, you're getting to where the painted curbing on the inside starts. Now I'm way off. I'm way a little bit further out than I will aim to be in the race. But it'll take a set about here. You do want to try and let me back it up a little bit without hitting anything, which is very difficult. So what I'm going to try to do is, let me back it up a little bit further. And my turn-in point. I think the line that I'm trying to take through here is I'm going to ease off the throttle and start to turn in. I'm actually aiming to get the car to the inside, to this inside striping here. And it is about here that you'll feel the front end, kind of the front's finally fully grip up. Partially in the throttle, if I feel confident that I've got the car set and I've got the right line out, you know, then I'll fully roll back into the throttle, fourth gear, let the car come all the way out. I might get on the curbing here a little bit. If you do cross over, I just tend to just get out of, like, I don't stay full throttle because I've got two different grip levels on the rear tires. I'll probably roll out of the throttle or back out enough until I get the car back on track and then roll back in. But again, ideally, if you bring the car out, bring it back to the left side here, at least halfway. You can go all the way. I'm still trying to figure out what the best line is. Now, on controller, I can brake almost at the Tech Sports Racing sign. On a wheel, I can't. I'm not that good on a wheel. So what I'm looking for, I think for me right now in the mediums, you can kind of see the people waving there, but you can kind of see the speaker stand or the speaker pole that's, you know, just to the left of the blue tent and then next to the building there. That for me is the reference I'm kind of looking at least right now. I think maybe as I get more confidence and maybe on the softer tires, if I do choose to run them, I can brake a little bit later. But for right now, as that goes out of view, this is where I'll start braking. Have the car mostly to the left side. I'm braking in a straight line towards the inside wall, towards the end of the inside wall that I can see, where it's blue. So I'm going to try and play chicken here. So it's usually a straight line braking here. Release right as you get to it. Downshift down into third. Bring it back across. I get to the curbing, brake again. Release as I get off the curbing here, down to second. Well, still in third. Brake again, drop it to second. Try to hug the inside wall, second gear, into the dipper. Cut back across. And if I do it right, as I get to the apex here, if I do it right, I should be able to go back to full throttle in second gear and go shoot straight out towards the inside here, second gear, out to the left side, third gear. Now where I'm braking, this is another one. I don't practice with the braking line to see what the suggested line is suggesting. Hence why it's called suggested line. What I'm looking at for the braking here, heading into Forest Elbow, is where the painted sponsor, where it goes from blue to gray. It just goes to the gray wall. I'm kind of gauging that. As I get to there, that's where I'm going to do a little bit of a brake, turn in, and this is where, at least right now, my line's probably going to differ from what Forza gives. And, you know, it's just kind of my confidence level. heading into Forest Elbow. I like having the car mostly to the right side, and you can kind of see that the rubbered in surface is actually more in the middle. I might start doing that later in the race as I get a little more comfortable with the braking into Forest Elbow, or if I got somebody behind me. But if I'm on my own, I'm not under threat from anybody, or and maybe if I'm thinking about, trying to set something up or trying to set a pass up, or at least get in a position to maybe start that process heading down into the chase, I'll probably set a little bit more to the right side, and I'm going to start braking right as I get right as the wall here on the right side turns yellow. When the sponsor color changes, this is about where I feel I need to brake at to get the car slowed down to where then I can release, turn the car in, and this very easy to clip. You can kind of see the really solid here. I'm still probably turned in a little bit early, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the car about here to where then I can start committing back to the throttle. So trying to square it up as best I can. It's not, again, it's more than a 90-degree corner, so that I can square it up, roll back into the throttle, and start to open the steering up on exit. I'll probably flirt with the wall on the outside here, but then get it straight as we get onto the Conrad Straight and head down towards the chase. We'll see how that line evolves as I get into the race. It's hard for me. Just the braking is tough because your gravity doesn't help you because it's pushing the car down. But anyhow, jabbering too much. Let's get down the straight here, all the way up to 5th gear. Heading down into the chase now. It's not necessary, but I might move the car over here a little bit. It doesn't really open the corner up all that much, but I am going to try and clip this. For me, I'm going to try and clip it so that the car's exits mostly on the right side. I don't want to go all the way to the left and then have to bring it all the way back. If I can late apex it, I can get the car set, pointed straight, get the weight set for the braking for the chase. For me, the braking is just before the 150 board. I kind of use the tire. Clearly, someone has dropped a tire here and locked it and just ripped up the grass. But I'm using the beginning of that as the reference point for my braking. Brake down to, this is the other one. I think most of us early on, especially in traffic, second gear is the gear you want to be in. I think on your own and when you have confidence in your braking, getting the car slowed down, I actually would prefer third through here. It's like what turns 21 and 22 at the chase. And what I'm going to try to do, again, more often than not won't happen, is, so I'm going to turn in. I'm actually, if you notice here on the curbing, you can see on the back side of the curbing here, you've got a chewed up piece of grass where it's just been chewed up by people running through there with the left side tires. Again, I don't have track limits on, so I'm like, how much of this curbing can I take? You can take a crap ton of this curbing. So on my own, I'm actually, if I'm on my own, not under the thread, I'm not trying to set up a passer like that, I will try to do this in third gear and take advantage of this curbing. The main reason, again, it's you got a cresting left-hander into a right-hander. It's very easy if you're in second. Let's say I did this in second gear, as I come out of the corner, you're going to immediately have to start turning to the right, and you're going to be in high in second gear and then pop it to third. You're not going to get any help. Again, the crown of the road, the back tires are going to spin up. You might feel the back end step out. So for me, if I get, the previous left-hander there, use that curbing, I'm in third gear, the car feels a lot better through here. There's less chance of a wheel spin. I can get a little bit more momentum. I'm actually going to, by cutting the corner, or taking advantage of that, again, I can carry more speed into this one as well. So it might also help me set up a pass down into Murray's corner to end the lap. So we'll see how that plays out in the race, but that's what I'm trying to do. Third gear, ideally. If need be, I'll go to second gear. I may short shift to third. I'm still trying to work some of that out. But regardless, second gear to third gear, heading down to Murray's corner. And for me, braking for Murray's Corner is, pick your poison. It's either right where the red and white painted separator for the pit lane is. That's, whoops, that's what I'm kind of going off of. Maybe on the softer compounds, it may even be as late as where, the very last, the 66th starting box is for the when they do, I guess when they do the 24-hour or the 12-hour. But brake down to second gear, and then again, Murray's Corner, much like Hell Corner, you get a little help on the inside, but you're crossing. It goes uphill and it crosses over the ground of the road. So just on exit, you're in second gear. Just be mindful of how much throttle you're giving when, because you can spin the back tires up. I have not done the lazy spin there yet. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. But that is a lap of Mount Panorama Bathurst in this 2024 NASCAR. That was a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up for the race. And let's go to event menu. No, quit race because I want to start over. And we'll do, I'm guesstimating it's about a 13 lap race based off kind of my own initial tire testing and just kind of getting a feel for how quick this car goes around. So let's go ahead and set up the race. And if you want to set up a mock race yourself, here's how you do it. Let's return to the main menu. All right, so we're going to go race, free play. I'm going to go advanced. Yeah, I had one saved, but that was one I was farting around with. So let's just go. I won't load the saved options. Let's just do it fresh. The first thing I want to suggest is, since we're running, there's two different tunes. There's a road course tune and an oval tune. So what I would suggest is for the road course, it's like if we should all have the credits by now. Buy two cars or whatever you're going to race, and set them up. Set one up to be, I've got, actually, that was the previous one. I got the level 50. There's my new road course car. I have the tune on it already, and then I already have a separate car bought with the oval tune on it, ready to go. It's much easier than when we get between races. It'll be much easier to switch the car between races than to have a single car and have to try and jump through the hoops to change the tunes. So that's my humble suggestion. So we're going to go with the road course car. And all right, we're going to go circuit race. Circuit race, Mount Panorama. We said 13 laps. One thing I will say is, because we don't have headlights, we will not have any night racing on the road courses. So I am going to poke around and actually, we're going to go sunrise. 4, again, rolling 4, dynamic track rubber 20. We will go, oh, you know what? Let's do, is there a thin haze? We'll do a thin haze. Normally I like to do random stuff on this one, but driver difficulty 8. Designs, number driver tire 23, all the driver tires. NASCAR, we'll leave that alone for right now. Sport rules, again, I don't know why it does this. Sport rules. Standing start, we're going to go random. The one thing I'm going to do is, just because the AI tends to bunch up a bit, and so I'm going to start everybody with a half-second delay. And mandatory pit stops, and we'll do 1. Because I think it is a one-stopper. If it's 13 laps, it is a one-stopper. I don't know that you gain any advantage doing a 2-stopper and running softs for the second half of the race. Because I don't think I don't think the soft tires will overcome time lost on pit lane. But that's me. No, we don't need to do car groups. Let's go ahead and accept all. Panorama. It's a shame she doesn't tell us about the track anymore in free play. I like that. Okay, so tires. 60% guesstimate as far as when they hit that. When I was doing tire testing on the controller, laps 4, 6, and 8. So the way I'm kind of doing these guesstimates this year is, or this season, is I will note the lap that they go 60% on. I'm not going to try and guesstimate based off of that lap where on the lap it happened. I'm just saying it happens on lap 4, and then I'll give you, whatever the most worn tire is at the end of that lap. I'll say this is what it ended up at, and then you can kind of figure out the math yourself in your head or in your own testing of like, okay, yeah. What I will say for Bathurst is that 60% always tended to be around the S's. When you're at the top of the hill at Skyline, breaking for the X's into the Dipper. That last section before Forest Elbow is about when they were hitting 60% for me. I'm on the wheel this time. So my tire wear is going to be a little bit less, I think. So it might not be until I'm on the Conrod straight. We'll see. Again, your mileage may vary, and time of day, temperature, how you drive, that all plays into the wear. But that's it. 4, 6, and 8, for soft, medium, and hard compound. So for a 13 lap race, I'm going to start on hards. Again, 13 laps. Again, we should not need to take on fuel, thankfully. Oh, no, come on. 15. Hard compound, 5X tire wear. So I'm going to run 7 on the hards and then do the final 6 on the softs, or not the softs, the mediums. And we'll see where things end up. Also, with a half-second delay, since it is random, I'm probably going to pull off at turn 1, let the field by, and then try to work my way through it. I think the way these cars are racing, this might look more like a hot lapping session. So again, the first race trying to set up the driver tire is always fun. Let's go ahead and start race. Put me in the back. Oh, it looks like I'm about halfway. Half-second delay for everybody off the start. So I should be able to... Should be safe here. I'm gonna go look at the replay and find out why 24th is. I'm wondering if he was kind of back far enough that he spun out on the start. Cold tires. And first lap, it's going to take a lap for most of these tires to come up to temp. So I would just say be patient on your initial laps, on your out lap, and on the start of the race. Let the car do the work. Oh, wow, somebody got it wrong there. Take a look. Didn't commit to it. It's early. Let's see if we can get a draft up to turn 2. Excuse me.
Total time penalty is about half a second.
My car's. It's like, what am I supposed to do when the driver turns in on me? It's not like, we were completely alongside, but I was at least halfway up on him. Oh, I was wrong. They still check up, though he had traffic in front of him. But, excuse me. Okay, I came up on that traffic a little quick. They're all bunching up here. Yeah, it's just, ever since the NASCAR update came out, and I know they were trying to tweak the driver tires for NASCAR, and maybe they were thinking it was mainly for the ovals, but I've just been finding that they just kind of turn in on you much more aggressively now, as if you're not there. And it's like, I'm sorry, I can't make a bake. Not gonna do that. Oh my!
Total time penalty is about a second.
I'll accept that one because that was total. That one's on me. But I'll take the half-second penalty in exchange for 2 spots. Okay, I've got a little bit of clear track in front of me. Maybe. Let's see if we can make up a little time here on 13th. Gear a little bit early on the turn in. I'm trying to find the best line for the setup there through Frog Hollow. Probably be grazing that wall several times in the race. Time. It was 3.7 last lap. And again, I can't make the driver tires run the same setups or follow the same kind of tire compound strategy that we run on Thursday. So it is what it is. Push, 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 push. A little bit early. I love that turn when you get it right. Okay. So that was more following the rubbered in line, where I'm kind of breaking across the track to the inside. My expectation is that the majority of the field in front of me is running the soft tire, and will probably pit at the end of this lap. I would assume at that point then they're switching to hards for the rest of the race. If they're doing 5, well, let's see. They may push the medium. It's hard to know what they're running. Part of it is just by the fact that 13th place is walking away from me, and Snow Wolf's right on my butt. Yeah, they're probably all running softer compound than I am. A little bit of push. Didn't quite get it slowed down. Staying out. I was wrong. What? I hate that feeling. Commit to a turn, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to hit the wall. That scene in Days of Thunder when Tom Cruise is, he's doing his first races in NASCAR and just hitting everything in sight. He's coming down pit lane, loses control of the car, he's going to hit the inside of pit wall, and it's like, oh, this is going to hurt. Okay, leader's in. Bruce is in. Bruce is in the lead. So there's ever a money lap that I've got to nail, it's this one. Try and make up as much time as I can on hot tire versus cold tire to see how well the overcut works. Pushing a little bit. Drop a second to make sure I can get through here. Okay, braking for pit lane is right at the start of the white line. Right there. Brake down to second cut. And then hammer the gas. Get the little slidey into the pits. Okay, we're going to go mediums the rest of the race. Let's see if I've made up any time on 13th. And this is one, I think, coming out of the pits when you're released, just immediately pop it to second. Made up a little bit of time. Still kind of in this no man's land here. So let's see if the tire balance now is better, or I can start making up some of that gap. Definitely a big difference in grip. I'm using the flags at the top of the building on the right there now. A little behind there, getting through that section, but on, come on. Pushing a little too much now. That last corner could have been a little bit better. Do that. I could have left it in third. Definitely better through the S's than the dipper. Oh, but not there. That was a little slow. Better, but still a little conservative.
3 to go.
Copy that. Starting to pinball. How do I know when I'm pushing too much? How many walls can I hit in a single lap? Lost probably about a half second to the fifth wheel there, and still kind of holding off Snow Wolf. That one I just did not get on the brakes hard enough. your feet on the pedals. Late. That's what I'm talking about, being too aggressive out of the slow second gear corners. And maybe going full defensive here in the last lap.
Last lap.
See that. And there's minor tire wear, so this lap will be interesting. At this point, it's more about just bringing the car home than trying to catch the car in front of me. Just get my marks. Don't do anything stupid, which can and has happened. Definitely a little more understeer now. So the reason why I like third through there. Very easy to spin the tires within second. And that is Mount Panorama. Thankfully, good. Didn't have to worry about the time gap. So 28-19, yeah, I would say, given bucket delays and the fact that we're running qualifying for this race for different buckets, yeah, it'll probably be a 13-lap race. But that is Mount Panorama in this, well, I'm running the NASCAR Camaro, but I would say, the other two, the Ford and the Toyota, should run about the same. But that'll do it for this track guide. But again, because even though it's not truly Bruce, let's go ahead and do the podium there for Bruce's Drivatar. Yep, I'll take a 14th. Oh, it doesn't show the podium. That's right, we're not in multiplayer. Sorry, Bruce. But that'll do it for this track guide. I'm not sure if I will have a chance to do the Eagle Rock track guide tonight, but definitely probably if not tonight, tomorrow. So hope you guys are having a good weekend. Again, happy holidays, happy pre-New Year, and hope your 2024 was good, and looking forward to 2025. So happy racing.